Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indian, and Haitians. Got to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, the Most High, the Heavenly Father. His name is Yahweh, not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Ahia. His name is Yahweh. His only begotten son name is Yahweh Shai. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christus, not Yeshaya. It's Yahweh Shai. So we gotta give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rikah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well, and a sincere salutation to all the octave pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Akwaf who are listening and learning, the few sisters who are listening and learning. I'm Isaiah from the GMS Orlando camp, coming at you with another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and edification. Another daily edification, Lord willing, is be edifying. And this is, actually, I only got a title yet. So I'm just going to bring it out. Lord willing, I have a title when I finish.
Breaking news tonight, the grim milestone, the U.S. overtaking China for the most coronavirus cases in the world. The death toll in the U.S. now topping 1,000. New York City at the epicenter. Tonight's shocking video inside the hospitals pushed to the brink. One hospital reporting 13 deaths in just 24 hours. A doctor calling it apocalyptic. All patients in this room, all the feet that you see, they all have COVID. You will hear the harrowing stories on the front lines. The next major hotspots, new concerns across the South. Louisiana facing the fastest growth in new cases in the world. Do some states need to take stronger action to slow the spread? Health officials sounding the alarm. The new unemployment numbers just out, shattering records. Millions more out of work. The House set to vote on that $2 trillion rescue package passed by the Senate when you, your family, and your business could see money and relief. The surge in coronavirus among first responders. Over 300 cases in the NYPD alone. The risks they're taking to put our health and safety above their own. And the growing mental health impact on children. Tonight, they're sharing their struggles. The story every family will want to hear.
This is NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good evening, everyone. We've now lost over 1,000 people to coronavirus in this country. So many tears have been shed, and experts tell us there will be many more tears to follow. And while we know most infected people will recover from this, the toll this pandemic has wrought is beyond stunning. Those worst-case scenarios we talked about right here only a few weeks ago have come to pass. Emergency rooms here in New York, the nation's coronavirus epicenter, overrun. Some facing some of their darkest hours. Our team is covering it all. We start with Gabe Gutierrez.
Tonight, a chilling glimpse inside the U.S. epicenter of COVID-19.
All the patients in this room, all the feet that you see, they all have COVID.
Speaking to the New York Times, Dr. Colleen Smith calls Elmhurst Hospital in Queens, New York, apocalyptic. It saw 13 deaths in 24 hours.
We had to get a refrigerated truck to store the bodies of patients who are dying.
She says the need for ventilators here is dire.
I don't have the support that I need, and even just the materials that I need physically to take care of my patients.
Outside, the patients began arriving here.
Did you see that? They got to get a refrigerated 18-wheeler truck, an 18-wheeler bed to store the dead bodies, man. They had to get a refrigerated truck to store the dead bodies, man.
Early this morning, police urging them to stand several feet apart. We had seen this in other countries. This is Queens, New York. Elmhurst has started transferring non-COVID-19 patients to other hospitals.
I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know.
From a distance, we spoke with Ignacio Ramirez, who started feeling symptoms on Sunday. He waited 5 hours in line today to get tested.
I have fever, a terrible headache. It doesn't stop. I feel very weak. It's horrible.
Our station WNBC got rare access inside another hospital in the Bronx. The ER is packed. Soon this triage tent may be necessary.
Yes, it does affect the elderly much more, but we are seeing a lot of younger patients.
In New York State, the number of coronavirus cases is skyrocketing, now more than 37,000. A triple-digit spike in deaths in just one day. Dr. Craig Spencer is an ER doctor in Manhattan who years ago survived Ebola and now says the crisis is worse than it appears.
The disconnect between what you might be hearing at a press briefing and what I'm hearing at sign-outs every single day in the emergency department, that chasm couldn't be wider.
2 weeks ago, an assistant nursing manager at Mount Sinai West, Caius Kelly, tested positive for the virus. He died Tuesday night. Today, authorities said while the state may have spot issues with distribution of personal protective equipment, or PPE, it has enough for now.
We have enough PPE in stock for the immediate need, not past the immediate need.
Governor Andrew Cuomo says lack of ventilators is still an urgent problem, since the average COVID-19 patient on a ventilator stays there for 11 to 21 days. Doctors are now resorting to splitting the devices to help 2 patients at a time. Back at Elmhurst, Dr. Smith has a warning.
If this goes on for a month or 2 or 3 or 5 like it did in China, and we're already this strained, we don't have what we need.
And that's why she's speaking out now.
I don't really care if I get in trouble. People are dying.
Late today, New York City's mayor said that 40 more ventilators and dozens of extra workers have been sent here at Elmhurst. The state is now scouting new locations for more.
Florida homeowners, if you have a power meter like this
Lucky
inside
for
your
the
house, you
infomercial.
get paid to go solar at no
You
cost
damn
fee.
devil.
It costs nothing to get this. More overflow hospitals. Western.
Yeah, that doctor painting a dismal picture. All right, Gabe, thank you. And while the New York City area deals with an explosion of cases, health authorities say one of the next major fronts is likely to be the South. NBC's Blaine Alexander reports now from New Orleans.
Tonight, the typically soulful streets of New Orleans are now silent.
The Bourbon and Canal shut down.
With businesses boarded up after Governor John Bel Edwards ordered residents to stay at home.
It's quite frankly the case that the life you save could be your own, and all that you have to do to save lives is stay home.
Across Louisiana, the numbers paint a stunning picture. In just the last 24 hours, an alarming 28% increase in the number of new coronavirus cases, now totaling more than 2,300 since the outbreak began. And 83 deaths, including a 17-year-old from New Orleans. The city accounting for more than half of the state's fatalities. Experts say a big reason? Last month's Mardi Gras.
People weren't only catching beats who were here for Mardi Gras, they were catching coronavirus, likely from each other.
With hospital space running low, officials are planning to use a convention center to treat.
All the mirth of the land is gone, man. Ain't no more joyful times, man. It's gone.
Non-critical patients, conjuring up jarring images of the Hurricane Katrina response in 2005. The move just one of many.
They still recovering from that, man.
The South. Kerry Sanders is in Florida.
By next week, Florida's governor says this warehouse here in Orlando will have more than 1 million N95 masks. The supplies, some arriving now, are being staged here because health officials predict a significant rise in the number of coronavirus cases in this state, a state where 1 in 5 is over the age of 65.
In Texas, the governor issued a mandatory 14-day quarantine for anyone traveling from the New York tri-state area. Mississippi's governor limiting public gatherings, but says most businesses are essential. From New Orleans mayor, comfort for her city with tough days ahead.
We are very personable people, and so we're just having to do that remotely and showing our love differently.
Blaine Alexander, NBC News.
Bourbon Street shut down.
And tonight, as the toll rises to staggering levels, reports the U.S. has surpassed China with over 80,000 since the start of the outbreak. More Americans are falling ill every day, and communities are taking new, but the numbers, as expected, are getting worse. Here's Miguel Almaguer.
Tonight across our nation, in big cities and rural communities, a new reality is hitting home for Americans. The U.S. death toll has now reached a grim milestone as the number of infected soars to extraordinary levels. But each number is a story, a family torn apart. In St. Louis, the heart of the country, 31-year-old Jasmine Dixon died Monday. Buried Tuesday, family members had to watch her funeral from a car.
Never in a million years did my family and I think that we would one day, experience our loved one, our Jazz, to be the first official victim in the city of St. Louis.
While most Americans with coronavirus will survive, the young are dying at surprising rates, and the elderly are most in danger. In New Jersey, a senior center was evacuated after nearly every resident and staff member tested positive or showed symptoms of having the virus. In neighboring Long Island,
God bless all of you, and God bless America.
George Posis's family could not visit the World War II veteran while he was quarantined. The 93-year-old died last week, alone in isolation.
It's been a very difficult time for all of us. We're just trying to hold it together. None of us have even been able to see each other.
While new measures of protection are being taken in so many communities, like grocery stores installing cough guards, soon the USNS Mercy will dock in Los Angeles, where the mayor says Staples Center, the convention center, and hotels could soon be used to quarantine the sick.
Now, I want to be clear, the worst days are still ahead. For what we see in New York City, it's coming here.
In Chicago, where they're disinfecting public spaces, retired nurse Patricia Friesen spent her life caring for others. She is now the first Illinois resident to die from the virus, but now her sister Wanda has also passed away from COVID-19.
Wow.
It is killing people, and it does not care about your age, it does not care about your health.
The virus has often been called the invisible enemy, but
no, that's the Lord. The Lord don't care about your age. It's Yahweh, Bahashim Hawashai, that don't care about your health or your age, man. This is the work of the Heavenly Father, man. And hey, Jeremiah 25:33, as a matter of fact. And this ain't even, hey, this is just a small token of what's coming, man. It's Jeremiah 25:33. It reads, "And the slain of the Lord Yahweh shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground," man. And this talking about a Jacob trouble when it really break out here, man. But you see these bodies is dropping, man, from one end of the earth even to the other, man. It's going on around the world. The Lord is dropping bodies everywhere. And if this don't put fear in you, you are bugged out of your mind.
Tonight, these are the faces and the stories of those who have lost the fight.
Here in Los Angeles, we have just learned the number of fatalities and those infected has spiked again. Lester?
All right, Miguel, thanks for putting faces to those numbers. And beyond this unprecedented health crisis, there's the huge economic toll on American families, with a record 3.2 million people filing for unemployment benefits and hoping that help is on the way. Here's Tom Costello.
From empty highways to closed shops and parked planes, stunning evidence of an economy that suddenly hit a brick wall, going from 50-year low unemployment to a now record 3.2 million Americans seeking unemployment benefits, like Chicago bartender Mike Vanderbilt.
This was kind of a gut punch that, things are bad, but I still can't, I can't be at work.
Fashion store manager Cassandra Diener and her employees out of work.
I got a call one Wednesday and said that I had been laid off and we were closing most of our locations.
Tonight, the House is considering a massive $2 trillion rescue package already passed in the Senate. The plan would provide an additional 13 weeks of unemployment benefits, plus an extra $600 per week for 4 months. It would... Man,
that money, hey, they need some zillions, man. Okay? They need to pump zillions out here, man. This place, Isaiah 47:1, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. This place is done, man. It's done, man. This place is collapsing. The infrastructure is crumbling, man. What did it tell you in Isaiah 14, man? The worms covered thee and the worms spread over thee, man. Total corruption, total corrosion, man.
Send loans to small businesses that retain their employees, and $1,200 to most adults, plus $500 per child. The Treasury Secretary says Americans should see that money direct deposited very quickly.
It'll be within 3 weeks. We are determined to get money in people's pocket immediately.
Wall Street rallied for a third day on the rescue package news. The Dow up 1,300 points, more than 6%. Speaking to NBC's Savannah Guthrie, the Fed chairman warned the economy may already be in a recession, but it was strong before the virus hit and should be able to recover.
In principle, if we get the virus spread under control fairly quickly, then economic activity can resume, and we want to make that rebound as vigorous as possible.
Federal Reserve Chairman.
CareerOneStop.org
He ain't one about nothing.
Steps to file for unemployment, though some people report state systems are overwhelmed and slow. Among those who will be seeking help, Alicia Hardwick, a hairstylist in Kentucky.
We don't have no paid days, no vacation. It's you don't work, you don't eat is what we have. So being assisted.
Hey, that's the words of the Lord, man. Okay? You shall eat thy bread from the sweat of thy brow, man.
By the government in this time of need is truly something amazing.
For the first time, freelancers like Alicia can file for unemployment benefits, and so can the self-employed and members of the gig economy like an Uber or a Lyft driver, as this coronavirus recession appears to be taking everybody. Lester?
It's Yahweh. By Hashem Yahweh Shah that's taking everybody, man. It's the work of the Lord. Now what the government doing, everybody got to trust on the government now, man. Everybody got to trust on the government, man. Problem, reaction, solution.
All right, Tom, thank you. We'll be back in 60 seconds with a growing toll on first responders and the emotional impact on kids, what every family should hear. The coronavirus pandemic is impacting a growing number of the nation's police officers and firefighters. Stephanie Gosk on the risks they're taking to keep us safe.
Next to nurses and doctors, there are few workers more essential than first responders, and their jobs are now even more dangerous.
In New York City alone, there are more than 300 members of the police force with COVID-19. Hundreds more are waiting on tests, and thousands have called in sick.
It's next man and next woman up in terms of replacing people that have reported sick.
The city is assembling an additional 600 officers to help with growing demands, including overflowing hospitals to cover and a surge of 911 calls.
Hey, and these times is getting real, man. Hey, this is going to bring in, when you read in 2 Ezra 15, man, there shall be sedition among men, right? Invading one another. They should not regard their kings nor princes. Hey, man, look at them, man. They calling out, man. The police is calling out. Everybody getting sick, man. The Lord is laying this land desolate, flat, man. Waste. That's why it's gonna be sedition out here, man. They should not regard their kings nor their princes, man. It's gonna be lawlessness out here.
We are backfilling patrol where we need to. We're taking on a variety of assignments, but we make no mistake. We are going to get through this.
In Cincinnati, the police chief announced his officers would stop responding to some calls, including break-ins and property damage. While in Detroit,
and that's only going to increase.
25 members of the department have coronavirus. A beloved police captain died from the illness this week.
We are family, and when we lose a member of our family, we all feel it.
The Lord killeth and maketh alive,
right
man.
There on the front lines as well. In Boston, the EMS union head says they are, when possible, sending just one paramedic inside the home during a call, while the other waits. The ambulances are being scrubbed down every 2 hours. In New York, the FDNY, with 170 confirmed cases within their ranks, are asking the public to only dial 911 for the most serious emergencies. Unnecessary calls put paramedics
Hey, this
at
thing
risk.
getting real, man.
Even with new concerns about their safety, unwavering dedication.
We're first responders. We can't shut down. We can't close our doors. We have got to be a 24/7 operation.
The country relying on first responders now more than ever. Stephanie Gosk, NBC News, New York.
Around the world, cases have now surpassed 500,000. That's since the beginning of this outbreak. In Italy, the death toll surging to over 8,000. We get more on that now from Richard Engel.
Man, the Lord cold, man.
The whole world is afraid of getting sick. And for many in Italy, it's more than just fear.
nearly 700 more deaths today. The total number of infected is about as high as China reported at its peak. I spoke to the head of an ICU who says with 20% of his doctors out sick and new cases flooding in, the only way to stay afloat is to abandon existing protocols. What?
This is Habakkuk chapter 1 verse 5. Behold ye among the heathen, talking to you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, West Indian and Haitians, and regard and wonder marvelously, for I will work a work in your days which ye would not believe, though it be told to you. Man, nobody would have ever believed this thing that's going on right now, man. Even though you had the Spanish flu that killed 50 billion people, okay? Nobody remember that, man. But guess what? The Lord said he would bring it back to your remembrance, man. The things of old. Hey, bodies is dropping everywhere, man. Everywhere. This is the work of the Lord, man. The Lord said he would, when you read 2 Ezra 9, man, he will begin to visit the world which he made. With what? Great death, man. Zephaniah 3 and 5. The just Yahweh is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning do he bringeth his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. The Lord is bringing heavy judgment, man.
Advice would you give to American doctors?
You cannot face unconventional scenarios with routine tools. You have to reimagine, to reshape the hospital, the daily practice, the protocols, and to be very flexible and to have a scalable strategy.
Spain isn't far behind Italy, and the U.S. is catching up. Richard Engel, NBC News, London.
All right, well, trust me, on both sides of this camera, this can be overwhelming, and we are continuing to cover how this crisis is affecting the mental health of Americans. Tonight, a closer look at how it's impacting children. Kate Snow spoke with sixth graders about how they're coping.
Sixth graders Maddie, Juliet, Bobby, Kate, and Rohan go to school together in New York City.
How many of you guys miss your friends?
We met up on Zoom, Brady Bunch style, with child psychologist Ali Matu listening in from California.
What word would you use to describe how you've been feeling lately?
It's either like isolation or like responsibility, because you have to have because a lot of things are up to you now. But yeah, I would say loneliness would be.
I'd say a little confused lately. How hard is it to not know when this is going to all end?
It's kind of difficult not knowing like what's going to happen and what the future's going to be.
You can't really plan for anything, and you can't really ask anybody else because nobody has the answers.
For a generation raised with screen time, they miss face-to-face interaction. For Maddie, it's dance. For Bobby, volleyball.
There's so many things that I have been looking forward to all year that aren't going to happen anymore. So it's like small, kind of petty theming things, but then they're kind of significant to me. Like at our school, when you're in sixth grade, you get like a big graduation and a big play. But you might not get either of those.
Child psychologist Ali Matu.
What's unique to me about kids is the degree of grief that they're experiencing this.
How does this impact kids differently than it might affect adults?
Kids haven't dealt with this level of uncertainty. They don't know how to manage this level of stress. Adults have had different experiences in their lives that they can draw from, but kids don't have that experience.
His advice for parents, build a routine and really listen. And the kids, they have advice too.
Remember that this is new for everybody, and this is new for the children, this is new for even parents. So we just have to remember that and be patient with one another.
A reminder we can all use. Kate Snow, NBC News, New York.
So looking for the infomercial, man.
So this is my old insurance.
We would do anything to make this better for them. Up next, as we continue, new evidence COVID-19 may be seasonal and what that means for you. All right, back.
This is Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 14. They have blown the trumpet, even to make all ready. Hey, start with the apostles of Great Millstone, man. They have been preparing you for this time, man. Been telling you that it was coming, but you didn't believe it. Though it be told to you, you would not believe it, man. But guess what? Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua is working the work in your day. He's working it right in the midst of you, man. They have, Ezekiel 7:14, they have blown the trumpet even to make all ready, but none go up to the battle. You ain't preparing. You ain't putting on the whole armor of the Lord. But none go up to the battle, for my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. For my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. What is coronavirus? It's a pestilence from the Lord, man. Let's read again. Ezekiel 7:15, and he that is in the city, famine, food shortage, and pestilence, diseases shall devour him, man. The Lord ain't playing, man. Let me read 14 again. They have blown the trumpet, even to make all ready, but none go up to the battle. For my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. If you're not putting on the whole armor of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, you're going to die a grievous death, man. Thus saith the Lord. You have been prepared for these times, man. But you know what? You scoffers is hard-headed and you will not listen. 2/3 will not listen, man. So this is what you get. You get a pestilence, famines everywhere, man. The Lord is laying the land desolate, man. Bodies are dropping, man.
Now with our Dr. John Torres. John, Dr. Anthony Fauci has said there are signs suggesting coronavirus may become a seasonal illness. What does that mean for us now?
Well, Lester, there's growing evidence the U.S. will have a coronavirus season, meaning that the virus will cycle through and hit hardest around the same time every year. And early research now suggests the virus could actually die down during the summer months when the weather's hot and the days are more humid. The good news is we may get a breather, but the bad news is the virus will likely come back. But because we're ramping up our hospital supply system and researching some new treatments, if the virus does come roaring back in the fall, hopefully we'll be better prepared for it. Lester?
Yeah, we're all rooting for that vaccine, Doctor. Thank you. Up next,
Man, it ain't gonna be no vaccine, man. Amos 3:6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, have not done it? Come on, man. Isaiah 45:7, man. We're gonna keep hitting these same precepts, man, because these is the most important. Isaiah 45:7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord Yahweh, do all these things, man. This is the work of the Heavenly Father, man. And he got the angels put in heavy work, man. Okay? Heavy work, man. Matter of fact, let me read this precept. This is Psalm 78. Because this is what the Lord did to Egypt, right? He did what? He used the angels, man. Yahweh shot in the angels, man. This is Psalms 78:49. He made a way to his anger. Who? Yahweh. Salaki, verse 7, Psalm 78:49. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath and indignation and trouble by sending evil angels among them. He made a way to his anger. He spared not their soul from death, but gave their life over to the what? Buzzword, pestilence. Okay? The Lord ain't playing, man. He's not playing, man.
Emotional homecoming in an age of social distancing. All right, finally tonight, what a welcome home. Here's Kevin Tibbles.
In these gloomy days, some sunshine. A victory parade of sorts. As families gather at a safe distance from neighbors to cheer on their friend 15-year-old Coco Johnson, returning home from her final round of chemotherapy.
It was really overwhelming. I was just shocked. I was so surprised.
You're all finished with your chemo.
There was even a serenade from her nurses. Coco's mom, April Dans, was overwhelmed.
I think people are seeing that they have a village too, and everyone's really coming together right now.
Closer to home, signs, cheers, and tears.
The light at the end of the tunnel will be there soon, hopefully.
Yes, it will. It's called the Kingdom of Heaven for Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indian, and Haitians. Now, in the midst of all this going on, I gotta play this. This guy, Marvin Watkins, died. And you got this guy Snoop and DJ Pooh react to shooting death of music industry vet Marvin Watkins. Okay? Because there's a lot of other things going on, man, other than coronavirus. So you see this going on with this guy. Snoop got an image with him, DJ Pooh, and this guy Marvin Watkins. He just got put to death. Okay? It said music industry veteran Marvin Watkins was reportedly killed in Pomona, California, Monday night. Hey, man, things going on, man. The Lord is judging, man. Okay? This guy, what's this guy's name? This Edomite, Kenny Rogers. Okay? Lord took him. Then you just had a guy a train conductor. A train just caught on fire in a subway in New York. You see, the conductor was a Jake. He died, and 16 people was hurt. The Lord putting in work, man. He putting in work, man. The Lord is putting in work, man. Just showing this right here. Hey, because the Lord killeth and maketh alive, man. He bringing pestilence, man. And it's just the beginning. World War III got to play out, which they gathering over there right now in the Valley of Yahweh-Shaphat. Okay? They still gathering armies over there now, man. Then you got this guy. His name is James Hunt. He a Jake. Now he trying to teach young black men how to be entrepreneurs and be business minded, man. It's a guy, his name James Hunt from Atlanta. Supposed to be some type of big shot. Hey, man. While you trying to teach young black men, he say trying to teach young black men how to be entrepreneurs and businessmen, man. The world is crumbling, man. These FRN notes is about to be toilet paper, man. Okay? They not finna be nothing, man. Not worth nothing, man. So while you Jake's worrying about getting your money up, man, you better get your spiritual armor up. That's what you better do. Better try to figure out how you gonna get your spiritual armor up, man. Cause this thing is getting real. Let me see. See, hospital overwhelmed as U.S. cases surpass China, man. Come on, man. This is let's get Jeremiah, which is another one of my favorite scriptures. Jeremiah chapter 9 and 20. It reads, "Yet hear the word of the Lord Yahweh, O ye women, and let your ear receive the word of his mouth, and teach your daughters wailing, and every one her neighbor lamentation. For death is come up into our windows, and is entered into our palaces, to cut off the children from without, and the young men from the streets. Speak, thus saith the Lord Yahweh." Even it's a hold on, Salakia. Let me pull this real quick. Let me pull this real quick. Jeremiah 9 and 21. No, Jeremiah 9 and 22. It says, speak, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, even the carcasses of men shall fall as dung upon the open field, and as the handful after the harvestmen, and none shall gather them, man. And this time is coming, man. Well, ain't gonna be no gathering, man. Ain't gonna be no gathering. The Lord is tired of talking, man, and he's putting in work. And I gotta bring this precept out again. I brought it out yesterday, man. Ezekiel chapter 6. Cause hey, the Lord is putting in his work. Because 2/3 of you Negro, Latino, Native Americans, man, you will not hearken to the voice of the Lord, man. In all your Ezekiel 6 and 6, in all your dwelling places, the city shall be laid waste, man. In all your dwelling places. Hey, wherever you Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indian and Haitians at, the Lord is gonna jack you up, man. He's sending plagues everywhere where you Jakes is scattered at, man. Ezekiel 6 and 6. In all your dwelling places, the city shall be laid waste. And the high places shall be desolate, that your altars may be laid waste and made desolate, and your idols may be broken and cease, and your images may be cut down. All you worship Cesare Borgia, Jesus Christ, Santa Maria, all that is being brought down, man. And your works may be abolished. And a slain shall fall in the midst of you, and ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh. Hey, Jake still don't feel the Lord, man. Seeing all these things happening, Jake still don't feel the Lord, man. Let's get this one. Ezekiel 33 and 28 reads, for I will lay the land most desolate, and the pomp of her strength shall cease. And that's the pomp of all these places. All these countries is ceasing, man. And the mountains of Israel shall be desolate, that none may pass through. Then shall they know that I am the Lord Yahweh, when I have laid the land most desolate, because of all the abominations which they have committed. And he talking to you Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indian and Haitians, man. The Lord is doing this thing because of you, man. Okay, he said he created the world for our sakes. So guess what? He's destroying the world for our sakes, man. Point blank, period. 2/3 got to be destroyed. 1/3 got to get salvation. Scarcely get salvation, man. But this is a movie that was already played out in the eyes of the Most High. We just trying to endure to the end and see the end of this movie. And Lord willing, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, we endure to the end. Matthew 24 and 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Because nobody is saved, man. Nobody is saved yet, man. Scriptures clearly tell you that. Jeremiah 8 and 20. It reads, the harvest is past, the summer is ended, and we are not saved, man. Hey, we done went through many summers and many harvests, man. Hey, we still here, man, and we ain't saved yet, man. He that endure to the end, the same shall be saved. This time is serious, and Jake is not taking it serious, man. What you doing? 2 Chronicles 36 and verse 16. Let's read 15. 2 Chronicles 36 and 15. And the Lord Yahweh, power of their fathers, sent to them by his messengers, rising up betimes and sending, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place, which is who? Jerusalem, Israel, okay? Which is you Negro, Latino, Native American, West Indian, Haitians, man. Zion, the monument of Yahweh, man. But they mocked the messengers of power and despised his words and misused his prophets until the wrath of the Lord Yahweh arose against his people till there was no remedy. And you don't got no remedy now, man. These devils can't come up with a remedy fast enough, man. There isn't one. Hey, if Yahweh don't send it down, man, there isn't a remedy, man. The remedy is death. That's the remedy, man. 2 Chronicles 36 and 16. But they mocked the messengers of power and despised his words and misused his prophets until the wrath of Yahweh arose against his people. His people. That's a possessive pronoun. His people, till there was no remedy, man. And see, you barking up against the words of Yahweh Bashim Abishai because you looking at us as regular men that's telling you this truth. But guess what, man? These are not our words, man. This is 1 Thessalonians 4 and 8. He therefore that despiseth not man, but Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So you ain't despising our words. You despising the words of the Heavenly Father, man. 1 Thessalonians 4 and 8. He therefore that despiseth not man, but power, who have also given unto us his Holy Spirit, man. The Lord rose up men. This is Psalms 68 in verse 11. It reads, Yahweh gave the word. Great was the company of those that published it. You see? Great was the company of those that published the word of the Lord. Who did the Lord use to publish his word? Let's read it. Holy men. This is 2 Peter chapter 1 and verse 20. Real quick. Because it said the Lord, I just read in Psalm 68 and 11, it said the Lord gave the word and great was the company of those that published it. So let's see who published the word of the Lord. 2 Peter 1 and 20. Knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation. For the prophecy came not in old time by the will of man, not regular men, but holy men of power spake as they were moved by the Holy Spirit, man. So holy men wrote these scriptures, man. Okay? Holy men wrote these scriptures, man. This didn't come from regular men. The Most High Yahweh gave the word, and great was the company of those that published it. And who published it? His chosen men, man. Whether you can receive it or not. But this word is coming from on high, man. This ain't coming from a regular man. These are holy men that wrote these scriptures, man. When you go to it tell you that Baruch, man, when you go to read about Baruch, what he did. Baruch was one of the men, he was under Jeremiah, man. So understanding these prophecies, man, understanding what the Lord is doing, the Lord is bringing judgment, man. This is the will of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. He's bringing judgment. As a matter of fact, let me get this. Let me go to Jeremiah real quick. Let me find this precept. This is Jeremiah 36 and verse 4. Then Jeremiah called Baruch, the son of Neriah, and Baruch wrote from the mouth of Jeremiah all the words of the book, all the words of the Lord Yahweh, which he had spoken unto him upon a roll of a book, man. Okay? This is verse 17. Jeremiah 36 and 17. And they asked Baruch, saying, tell us now, how didst thou write all these words at his mouth? Then Baruch answered them, he pronounced all these words unto me with his mouth, and I wrote them with ink in the book. Then said the princes unto Baruch, go, Hide thee, thou and Jeremiah, and let no man know where ye be. That's why when you go to 2nd Ezra, what did he tell Ezra? Hey, matter of fact, let me see if I can pull that. 2nd Ezra, chapter 12, and verse 37. Therefore write all these things that thou hast seen in a book and hide them. It just told I just read it to you in Jeremiah. Okay, told Baruch the same thing, man. And teach them to the wise of the people, whose hearts thou knowest may comprehend, and keep these secrets, man. These are this coronavirus, this wars and rumors of wars, this famines and earthquakes in diverse places. Okay, these calamities, these are all secrets, man, that only the elect, the hopeful elect, will understand. 2/3 don't know what's going on, man. They following the footsteps of the oppressor, man. Okay? Why? Because they have Stockholm syndrome. They have a mental illness. They have a disease plagued in the mind with Stockholm syndrome. So they just moving with the crowd, man. But guess what? The hopeful elect, the elect is separate, man. That's the whole point. The Lord say, what? Let's read that. Leviticus 20 and 26. It reads this. And ye shall be holy unto me, for I the Lord Yahweh am holy, and have severed you from other people, that ye shall be mine. And he was talking to the nation of Israel, all 12 tribes, man. Okay, during this time. But guess what? Now, he's separating the 1/3 from the 2/3, man. Because what it tell you in Romans 11 and 7, matter of fact, let's read that. Let's read that. This is Romans chapter 11, verse 7. What then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. You see? Because the scriptures say they are not all Israel, which are of Israel, man. So the Lord made another separation now, man. The 2/3 from the 1/3. Because 2/3 is just what? They just being sheeple, man. They just following the rest of the flock, man. They just following the rest of the lost sheep. To who? They slave, they master, man. And that's where they're going to be destroyed, man. This thing, the Lord is doing something awesome in the earth, man. He will work a work in your day. You will not believe it, though it be told to you, man. You ain't going to believe. People, Jake still don't believe it right now, because we don't care about these heathen nations. This is about Jake, man. This is about you Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indian Haitians. And you still don't believe it, man. You still don't believe this is from on high, man. But you know what? The Lord said the deceive and the deceiver are his, man. Okay, Job 12 and 16. He got you deceived, man. This is the word from the Lord, man. And he ain't playing no games. We are in serious times, and you Jakes are still worrying about when NBA gonna come back on TV. What's going on with these superstars, rappers, actors, and movie stars, man, basketball players, man? You ain't the one about seeking the Lord. You ain't about putting on the whole armor of the Most High, man. Jake is one about everything that has to do with this world, man. James 4 and 4 clearly tell you, man. You adulterers and you adulteress, man. Let's read that. And I'm going to close. This is the book of James. Book of James chapter 4 and verse 4. And Shalakia. My pages is all everywhere. Okay, this is James 4:4, and it reads, Ye adulterers and adulteress, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God, with power? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is an enemy of power, man. So if you're a friend of this world, man, you're an enemy to the Most High. And that's what the Lord say, run to them in Colossians 4:5. Run to them that are without wisdom, man. Okay? Run to them that are without wisdom. Because 2/3 don't care about wisdom, man. They don't care about wisdom and stability, wisdom and knowledge to be the stability of that time. They don't care about that, man. They only care about what they can see now, man. That's why the Lord say his people require a sign, man. See, Jake need to see something first, and then they'll believe. Well, guess what? This coronavirus right in your face, and they still don't believe that it's from the Most High, man. But you know what? Hey, that's their lot. We can't get mad at them. Like Apostle always say, man, I'm not mad at you. That's just your lot, man. It is what it is. Hey, but Lord willing is edifying. Got to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rikak Wadash, the honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well, and a sincere salutation to all the octave, pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Akwaf who are listening and learning, the few sisters who are listening and learning. Lord willing, this be edifying.
But right here, only a few weeks ago, have come to pass. Emergency rooms here in New York, the nation's coronavirus epicenter, overrun. Some facing some of their darkest hours. Our team is covering it all.
You see, they facing what? He said they facing what? They're facing some of their darkest hours, man. Why?
Affected people will recover from this. The toll this pandemic has wrought is beyond stunning. Those worst case scenarios we talk.
You see? Hey. Kal halal wa hawa la Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Bahashim Rikak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone rule well, who teach well, and a sincere salutation to all the Akim, pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect, man. Wa abad babal.